Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Don't you like when the United States of America's government comes out and they just provide information and then another information and they contradict one another? And that's called misinformation. And if they know about it and do it knowingly, that's disinformation. And nothing happens to these guys. And there's some big mainstream media outlets that do the same thing, which is they give you information now, and about a week or two they give you the opposite of what they said 2 weeks ago or reported, and nothing happens to them. But we here, the little people, yeah, the midgets, if we do something like that, these guys immediately, oh, that's misinformation, that's disinformation. Let me give you an example. Now, according to your knowledge, do you know if China supplied or has been supplying in the past and keeps supplying Russia with weapons, drones, helicopters, rifles, anything like that? Do you know of anything like that? Well, I covered that in about 3 videos, and you can go and check them out. Not this one, which says China not supplying Russia with weapons to fight Ukraine. The White House. So this is what these guys say. Now, the videos I made were right here. Russia confirms. This is according to the American media, saying the Russians confirmed. So the American media, the Western media, the free media, reports that by their interpretation, that's an admission coming from the Russians. China supplies Russia with drones. North Korea supplied 1,000 containers of ammunition. And then China supplies the Russian military with helicopters, drones. It arms Russia's war in Ukraine. Again, these articles that I covered in those videos are from the Western countries. And the accusations coming from the White House. Now you have China sends Russia military gear, including drones, to equip an army. Again, all these things, and says, we knew that, didn't we? Okay, so Russia uses Chinese drones in Ukraine, a drone shot down by Ukrainians. All these things were based on Western media and Ukrainian media. And then you have this one right now, when this weasel comes out and says, China not supplying Russia with weapons to fight Ukraine. And let me show you, all right? I went and I put over there in the, search box, China supplies Russia with weapons, drones, ammo, to see what I was fishing for some past articles coming from these guys. Hunting rifles? Really? China ships assault weapons, and it says Chinese companies, including one connected to government in Beijing, have sent Russia entities 1,000 assault rifles. This is March 16. So this guy, Politico, should be out of business right there. Right there. Because can't be two things true in the same time. Which one is it? These guys lying or these guys are lying? And then it's not all of it. China secretly sends enough gear to Russia to equip an army. Right here, Russia has imported more than 100 million worth of drones from China. These are July 2024, let's say. July 25. So right here, I made a video probably on this article and not only. Right here, February 24, intelligence suggests, this is CNN, the other one was Politico. CNN, intelligence suggests China is considering sending drones. So this was on February 24th, and then in July 24th, they say sends already drones and whatever. China weighs sending drones, ammunition to Russia, February 24th. And if you go down, you're going to find neutral China arms Putin with helicopters, drones, blah, blah, blah. This is Business Insider. How are these guys still functioning? If I would say, because I said it, they're not going to close me, they're going to close them. No. And another thing, why are these guys in charge of this anyway? Because where are the community guidelines is here? So let's go to the article where the Americans say, and you know why they say that? Xi Jinping is visiting the United States of America, the West Coast, for a Pacific or East Asia Pacific summit where the Russians were also invited. So Xi Jinping comes in America. Last time when he came here was when? I can remember, 2015, 16, 18, 17. When Obama, what's his name? I think They said 15 or 16. Maybe they tell us, rather, Pacific Economic Cooperation. Let's read this one. So that's why now they try to give. We're not going to accuse you, China, of anything. Xi Jinping comes over. They don't get along. The Chinese will not back out or bow down to the Americans. And once Xi Jinping goes, in about a week or two, we're going to find out that in fact the Chinese provide and supply the Russian China has been supplying Russia for so long. If things don't go well, so this is again like I play ball with you. I give you this one. See what you send me back, and if you don't bend over so I can give it to you hard, then I'm gonna come and say no. Actually, I take my ball back. They're supplying. You'll see. That's the way it works. U.S. intelligence previously accused Beijing, thank you very much, of supporting Moscow but not restricting bilateral trade. By not. Okay, the White House is confident that China has not supplied weapons to Russia for use in Ukraine conflict, the National Security Advisor Weasel Jake Sullivan told reporters on Monday. Sullivan was asked for an update on the issue ahead of a meeting on Wednesday between U.S. President Joe Biden and his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping. Biden is hosting Xi along with other foreign dignitaries at the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation APEC in San Francisco. In late July, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence released a report on what it called Chinese support of Russia, and I'm quoting, with respect to its war in Ukraine. The document detailed China's purchase of Russian energy and the use of the yuan in commerce with Russia, which go against the sanctions and the U.S. pushed for. It also described the supply of dual-use parts, such as semiconductors used in navigation equipment, as a form of support for Russia's military action. They also said that based on the transactions, the border crossing papers, they found out the Chinese businesses, which are Chinese government owned, they supply the Russian companies with military supply here. Washington has repeatedly warned Beijing against providing weapons to Moscow despite Chinese assurances that it has no intention to become involved. Obviously the Russians are saying, see, we're clean, we're good. I don't know why they even bother. They say, yeah, we're together, we are actually communicating, they give us troops. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. Go back. They're going to get to that one. Last month, the U.S. sanctioned 42 Chinese companies for allegedly supporting Russian military production in defense of trade restrictions. What are you talking about? So then why do you sanction them if that's not true now? China's position on Ukraine crisis, Beijing has blamed NATO expansion, Moscow perceived the Ukraine conflict as part of Western proxy. So, which one is it? Your intelligence? I mean, I trust this. Any intelligence services, as I saw the person for the first time, which is zero. The problem is these guys, for me, they're at negative. They're in a hole so deep that you can't even hear the answer back. That's how deep these guys dug their garbage. Based on their statements, remember, weapons of mass destruction, that was the last thing. It was not the thing. It was the most obvious lie provided to us. And people still believe that. Yeah, why? Because media outlets and governments are not shut down for misinformation or disinformation. But little people like me, midgets, immediately are sanctioned. So when they say justice for all and all that garbage, freedom of speech, yeah, some people have more, some people have less, under the same laws, mind you. Why? Too big to fail. What the hell was that? What do you mean you're too big to fail? Well, we're just gonna bend the rules here for these guys, and now we're gonna give them more money and what? From me? So they can have what? I'm very, very sour about the bailout of those companies in 2008. The how do you call it? Auto industry here. They were not profitable. I'm talking about GM. Not profitable. You just run out of business. You restructure. Well, and then the people who don't talk to me, talk to the guys in charge of you. Those are the responsible people. No, they bailed them out with my money. Jesus Christ, that's what they did. Why? Because some people had what? mismanage the company? Oh, you're not profitable? Get the fuck out. Bring in the Chinese if they're profitable. Oh, Emil, you're not patriotic. So what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Sanction the guys who are responsible for that. Don't sanction me. Anyway, let's go back to these ones. So again, anybody's going to be sanctioned? No. Like Condoleezza Rice after September 11. Remember 2001? She was in charge of the national security. Condoleezza Rice, after those attacks, the failure of U.S. Somehow, was she arrested, charged, convicted? Nah. She's still respected. She shows up, shows her face in public. And many others like Bush and Cheney, who used to be, I don't know if he's still alive or not, Rumsfeld, who's dead, Colin Powell, dead, all these guys, and they are all revered about it. Oh my God, or Clinton bombing Yugoslavia, all revered and respected. Really? Or Obama, or the other one, or you can look at both sides because they're the same. Why? Because the guys behind them are the same. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.